So when you're thinking about a full entire project, if you're a business owner or whatever you do for a living, every single project or every single thing you do is going to have a starting point and it's going to have an end point. The end point could be the solution. The end point could be like the very first iteration of that thing that you're building. But every single project has a start and an end to it. And then it has like a continuous iteration depending on what it is. Your job this week, in order to build more design clarity awareness, is to start mapping out these start and end points. If you don't know how to do this, that's okay. All you literally have to do is write down on a piece of paper, step 1, that's your first touch point. Step 2 is your second touch point. Step 3 is the third touch point. And if you don't like writing it down, you can literally go grab Post-its and then just peel off 10 Post-its and put them up on your board. Like I have a couple of examples over here. Like you can just literally put them up on your board, put 10 of them up and have the starting point to the end point and try to fill in the blanks. What are you doing at the beginning of a project and the end of the project? And you just start working out these things. We do this in design for mapping out like new flows. We do it for auditing existing flows. So if you're like trying to start off at a company or you're trying to start a new project, what's the first thing you got to do? And if you don't even know what those first things that you got to do, you can always ask Brendan AI, you could ask other ChatGPT and everything, but it's really important for you to learn like your process. So in this screen right here, I have preparation is the number one thing. When we're starting a new project, we're like, what are we going to be doing? How are we going to be working towards this? What's the thing that is important? And then the next step to that is just understanding and collecting information. I'm collecting information, intaking knowledge, I'm doing research, I'm collecting a lot of things. Now that I have that, now I'm going to zoom in and focus on what matters most. Because if I take all the things and I work on all the things, I'm not going to work on anything. So I need to focus that intention and figure that out. Then as a designer, I might be generating ideas, or in your case, where whatever it is, you're going to generate hypotheses, or you're going to generate, I need to do this thing for this company or this project or whatever it is. You're generating, you're ideating, you're making things. And then after you have those things, then you're deciding on which thing is the most viable project or thing that you need to take on. You're deciding. You have to make a decision. Can't do everything. You have to decide on one thing. But you've taken the attempt, you've researched, you've understood what the project's about, you understand your outcomes, your goals, your focus, generating ideas. Now you're deciding on what it is. Then you build it and prototype it. And whether you're building a product or a service, or if it's literally just anything, it could even be redesigning the way you get your kids ready for school. It could be redesigning the way you take vacations. It could be redesigning the way you plan out your weeks. All of these things have a start and an end point, and you can redesign these things day in and day out, but iterate through those things. After you've prototyped it and you shared it to get feedback, you're going to learn ways to get improvements. You're going to test and verify it again once you've improved it. You're going to go back and do the improvement process one more time, and then you're going to start preparing again. You're going to be iterating and building it again. You're going to get it into support. You're verifying that it works, and then you might go to that final solution. This is just an example of like product design and product thinking, but it really relates to a lot of things in life. And that's why I wanted to show it to you today, because in the communication, you're thinking about the when, the what, the why, the where, who is this, what's the rhythm. For collaboration, you might be thinking about the rituals that you have every week to support the collaboration. Like rituals might be like on Wednesday at this specific time, my company is meeting about this specific topic and we're going to solve and do X, Y, Z. And then you build that healthy movement throughout the week. Elevating the work is like literally bringing excitement to the thing that you're doing. You're bringing awareness. You're elevating it to your team, to your company, to your people. It's a great way. It's a great thing to do. You're elevating an idea. And then you're focusing like, okay, what gaps are being filled? What are we doing here? And then the timing and the reframing are just things, because timing is a really important part of any project that you take on. The timing is not always perfect for all things, and you can be strategic with that the more that you map things out, because you can understand like, oh, that I mapped this whole process out in steps 2 and 3 on the board when we did the Post-it notes. These are a little fuzzy. They don't make sense. And then you can the opportunities to fix those parts of the process. And then you can literally go in and keep improving it. And then reframing is just really understanding when you're working through any project, understanding where somebody is at, where is it going, what's the most important thing or the most important information that can be shared. Because when you work with other people, you want to be able to communicate these types of things. And this might seem like a pretty advanced slide, but hey, building things, building businesses, building companies, it might seem very complex, but when you break down the steps, it's just a repeatable pattern of iteration. And it's just about understanding what those systems and those processes are. And, for building process, there's even like how you build something, there's processes for getting started, doing discovery, getting ideation, and working through these things. These are just more examples of this, but communication, collaboration, and elevating the work applies to this as well.